Three, two, one. Good morning and welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina. So excited to have you all joining us on this first Monday of the new year. Tina, how are you doing?
Happy New Year! We needed like balloon blowhorns, like to say Happy New Year. I don't know about you, but I got onto my computer and I was like, what am I supposed to do this morning? Like I was like, and then Angel and I were like, oh, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. We have like a long list of things. And I went, oh, maybe we shouldn't have took 2 weeks off.
That is that entrepreneur conundrum, right? You want to have some time off and it's almost like, well, you just do 2 extra weeks of work when you come back or leading up to it or when you come back. And so we want to say welcome to our fabulous studio guests that are joining us this morning. Cesar, how are you today?
I'm great. How's it going? Good morning. Happy New Year. Let's
Happy
do this thing. I'm ready to go. I got my coffee.
Yeah, we got our coffee too. Look. And
got
you
a
can
coffee.
get your Angel and Tina Morning Show mug by clicking the link below.
Oh my goodness, I do. You're right.
Tina gave me this cute little it's like a little hot plate for your coffee mug.
It's a coffee warmer.
Oh, my
And,
wife has one. Yes.
And it automatically turns on or off when you put the coffee mug on it or when you take it off. So you don't have to remember to
It's
turn
the
it
best
on.
Safety
thing in the
measures.
world. It is the best thing in the world because I used to have one that you have to turn on and off, and I would forget to turn it off. And then, that's fire hazard.
No bueno.
So with this one, you literally put your coffee on there and it's just like a weight thing. So they know it's a weighted and it keeps it nice and warm and you pull it off and it turns it off. So I was like,
and then I have
one of those.
My water bottle too. My New Year's resolution for right now, for every drink that I have, I'm gonna have a glass of water in between. So for every cup of coffee, I'll have a glass of water. For every so this is my new little.
That's
my
very
little
responsible.
habit. Today is day one, so I'll let
Your
you know.
internet is messing
you know
up, Angel.
What?
Your internet is messing up. Who's recording? Who's playing games? Michael, get off the game.
Is it glitchy?
It was a little glitchy when
I
you were
can hear
talking
you now.
about something
You're good.
about your water.
Oh shoot. We were going to reset the router this morning before we went live too, because up my right? Yeah. So yeah, I'm drinking a glass of water in between every drink. Cesar, where are you coming into us from?
I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It's beautiful here. The sun is out.
Early.
What's that?
It's early there.
It is. Yeah, it's 9 a.m., which
it's
is
early.
I've been up for a couple of hours because I have a toddler, but it's not too bad.
How old is your baby?
She's 2.5 now.
Okay.
Her name's Isa. She's my baby girl, the only one we got.
Oh, how cute. I remember those days. I'm so glad I'm not in those days.
We're starting to forget how hard the first year was, and we're like, maybe we do want another baby, and we're just
At 2.5?
Yeah.
I think you should wait a couple, like 6 months and see how it feels.
That's a fun gap. We have twin daughters, and then our son is 4 years younger, and 4 years is a big gap.
Yeah.
For so long, we would refer to him as the baby because he was so much younger. Like, we can't go to the movies because of the baby. We can't take you ice skating because of the baby, right? It's a big, 4 years is a big gap. I think that 2 and 3 years is.
But my oldest was the same way. Like, I had Gage, and then 5 years later, I had Nick. And then 13 months later, I had JJ.
Oh, wow.
And those were like, what do they call it? Irish twins?
Irish twins, when they're that close.
So they would always ask me, are they twins? I'm like, no, it's worse. Because twins, it's like the same size diapers, the same size everything, right? When you have a toddler and a baby, the toddler needs toddler food and sippy cups.
That's true.
Juice boxes, and the baby needs this. And so it's like double the things. And you're having one kid walking and having the diaper bag in one hand and one kid in the car seat. And you're like, oh my God, keep walking.
My sisters and I are like 4 and 5 years apart, and we were never in high school at the same time. And so I think about, and I don't know if that was a good thing or not, but it felt like it would have been nice. And so I think about that.
No, it wouldn't have.
My brother's 3 years younger than me, and so he was a freshman when I was a senior. It would have been nicer, I think, to have him around. Mary, do you have kids?
Yes, I have an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old, and my sisters, we're 2 years apart, but my kids are 3 years apart. And it's perfect. I loved it. So, but yes, I'm with Tina. When you're carrying the toddler stuff and the baby stuff, it is a little bit much, but they're great friends. And I was good friends with my sisters. So
Are you the oldest?
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest.
I'm the baby.
I'm the oldest of 4.
Oh.
And I was 5 years older than everybody. So I was very independent. I did all things myself. Angel, you're the oldest, right?
I am. Yeah, there was 3. My brother and I are 3 years apart. We were pretty close, in that 3-year gap. And then my sister is 8 years younger than me. And
that's a big difference.
It was, yeah. So we never hung out. We never did anything. Like it just, yeah.
My brother is 12 years younger than me. So there's like a huge difference. Like I used to babysit him when he was little, but we never like did anything together.
Yeah. Yeah. Mary's my friend from Denver. How are you? Like, it's been a long time since we've seen each other.
Yes, absolutely. And then you up and moved.
I know. I never planned to. Like, this was
and
not
you
part of the
probably
plan.
didn't even know, Mary, right?
You know what? I didn't know. I think I might have heard on one of the meetups, you might have mentioned you were moving, but I didn't think it was out of state. I did not know it was in Florida until you actually like posted it. And I was like, oh, wow, that was a big move.
It was a big move. It was fast and a big move. We'd been in our home for 21 years and sold it. It sold immediately.
Mm-hmm.
It sold in days.
Yeah, within a couple of days. And then they closed, fast. Mm-hmm. And so we were out of the house within 4 weeks. And so now we're in Florida, and hopefully, cross your fingers, pray to everybody you pray to. We now have a new closing date of February. Actually, we don't even have a closing date yet. It's gonna, we still don't have one.
Mary, let me tell you, when she went to Florida, and like 24 hours later, she texted me, I got to tell you something. And I was like, what? She's like, we're going to sell our house. And I said, what? And she's like, I think we're going to sell our house. And then like 2 days later, she had the house on the market. Like 5 days later, the house was sold. She was like, I found our dream house. I mean, like, it was like, boom, 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 boom. And I was like, are you listening to yourself?
Yeah, it was fast.
And then at the very end, she's like, oh no.
But you don't have time. You don't have time to think about it, right? You don't have time to second guess yourself or talk yourself out of it.
It was everything was just falling into place with you.
You have good house karma.
I used,
she really does. She really does. Like if you listen to this whole story from beginning to end, I mean, God was like on her side and he still is. He still is.
Yeah, he is. It's a better situation. But Brooke Hangst was our real estate agent in Colorado. And I'll tell you what, when you call a realtor and say, I think we want to put our house on the market, like you better be ready. That stuff moves fast. I thought we'd kind of talk about it. Let's linger into this. The house was listed and she's like, I'll have a photographer there tomorrow and we'll have this. And it was super fast. This is the buying of a new house has been a whole lot longer, but every step of the way where it's been a challenge is really because something better is happening for us on the other side. And so we've been able to lock in a really low interest rate where we were going to have to refinance with the first deal. Like it's working better. It's just, I'll tell you what, waiting, that's like one of those, that's a first world problem, right? But it is like, okay, we're just waiting. Waiting.
For you, it's excruciating because like, you're not in a house. I mean, you're like staying somewhere else.
We've been here 2 months.
Like your stuff, all your stuff is packed up. It is different. Believe me, I know. Like when you have like half your life packed up in storage and you're only living like in a little thing and you're like, I need my own stuff. I want to be in my dream house, which it is her dream house. You probably went over there this weekend, right?
Actually, we've stopped going and torturing ourselves.
We've been going like every weekend and just enjoying the.
Yeah, we would go
over
measure stuff. Like we need to measure something, so we would go over and just hang out and just dream about it. But yeah,
is it being built?
Measure the window.
It is already built. It has, and so I mean, had been on the market for 6 months. But it's got a swimming pool and it's got a great room for a
Wow.
recording studio. We can host, our mastermind events there.
Cool.
It's on a little lake. It's 17 minutes from my daughter's apartment. Um,
20 minutes away from Disney.
yeah, really close to the airport. It's just fabulous. And we fell in love with it. We stopped to visit it on an open house on the way to the airport, going from Florida back home to Denver. And so it was just seemingly random that we, discovered this whole thing. But all right, so I know that Mary's got something very exciting that she is launching, and we've got some great news to share on your front. Tell us what you've been up to, Mary, because the last time I saw you was right at the very beginning. It was, I think, right before the shutdown. The shutdown was coming, but it hadn't actually shut all down yet. And so we ran into each other at the local store because we lived in the same neighborhood. Didn't see each
Yes,
other too often,
absolutely.
but it's been a while since we've engaged. Tell us how you've spent this last year.
So I spent the last year, COVID was actually great for me for creativity. So I ended up writing and getting ready to publish. It will launch tomorrow. My first nonfiction, but I wrote 2.5 books of fiction while COVID was going on, while still doing better in my business than I ever have. So it was productive for me. I was having a blast, and yeah, my new book's coming out tomorrow, and I'm excited for it to hit and actually see it finally come to fruition. So, it's something that you've been telling me to do for a long time. So I finally did it.
What is your book
So
called?
excited.
It's called Impact Millions, the easiest way to find soulmate clients every day.
Wow.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a fun. Oh, soulmate clients. Okay, what's a soulmate client?
Soulmate client is somebody that you dream of working with, that there is more than just it's more than just a client. It's somebody who does the work, is excited to do the work, has a great result from doing the work. It's just an energy. It's an energy
You guys
of
vibe
pureness.
together.
Yes, it's a vibe. Absolutely. And that's actually, the book is how to get into the vibe of it.
Oh, I like it.
Cool. Okay, and it comes
How
out tomorrow.
can they get this book tomorrow?
So it comes out tomorrow. It'll be out on Amazon. There's a Kindle and a paperback, but we're obviously focusing on the Kindle version just to get it into people's hands. And yeah, it'll be out tomorrow and launching. And
Well, I'll tell you what, Mary, Amazon is on fire for delivery because Tina's book came out on Wednesday.
On the
It was
30th.
a holiday weekend.
People were getting it on the 31st.
Yeah, the next day, people were
Oh.
already receiving her book. And over the weekend, I think they were all delivered.
Yeah.
Our mail our mail isn't coming to where we're at right now, but it said it was delivered over the weekend. So,
Well, and the thing is, if you guys don't know about Amazon, I mean, it's print on demand. So they have to print it and bind it and do all this stuff and then, ship it and package and mail it out. But these people were getting it like the next morning, like at 10 o'clock in the morning. I got my book. I got my book. I got my book.
Wow.
Like, how are you guys getting this so quickly?
Yeah, it came out fast. And you're right. When it's something that's not just sitting on the shelf, they actually had to create it, right? They had to develop it and print it. But yeah, Amazon these days they're on top of things, and their delivery, the Amazon Prime, all the stuff that they're doing. So Mary, your book is going to be in people's hands quickly.
yeah,
Well, it's going to be in people's hands on Wednesday.
Well, that's awesome. It's funny. I was thinking about this, Angel, when you were talking. The universe loves speed. Your house was it just fell into alignment when everything is in alignment. The universe loves speed, and that's obviously what happened with Tina's book too. When it's meant to be out, it just goes fast. So let's hope.
I heard that phrase. The universe loves speed. That's
we all kind of do though, right? We get kind of mad when we're 5 cars back in the drive-through because we want our food right now. We get kind of mad when our stuff isn't delivered right away.
But the whole thing about like when something is right, like it goes like when you think about the creativity, you wrote 2.5 books this year, right? When you kind of get in that vibe of what you're talking about and the flow,
Yeah.
it comes. I think it does. It comes quickly when everything is right. Everything's in sync and you're in your zone. You're not allowing the weird things to distract you. I
Right.
was listening to a podcast this weekend and she was talking about a time in her life where, there was all these challenges. And she was, then at this event and all of these other events had kind of transpired, but she had this thought that I don't have time to just sit back and wallow and worry about myself and to be in this funk. Like I've got things to do. There's people out there I'm going to make an impact on. And so often we dilly dally, right? When we go back and forth and back. But when we just make a decision and we act on it and we're going forward and we're in that flow, when you said the universe loves speed, that's where I went in that space.
That's
It kind of
exactly
just
what I
lets you
meant,
open
because
and kind of
it really is one of those things when you watch, and I talk about it in the book, when you watch a new entrepreneur or somebody who's launching a business, there's these things that they'll get stuck on and they'll start focusing on, well, for instance, maybe I should build a webinar funnel, when in reality, they should, like when they visualize and they see success, they should actually be speaking on stages, but that's really scary. So they go and build this webinar funnel and they run into problems and they run into all these things. And I'm not saying there's not problems when you go speak, because of course there is, but it is true for me. What I've experienced and what I see people go through is that there's this really weird thing when you follow your intuitive guide, your higher self, God's plan, whatever it is you want to call it, it happens faster and smoother for the most part.
so Angel, that is kind of like your house.
Oh, that's my
Because
life.
she's like, that's my life. Because your whole entire thing when you sold your house, everything, remember I kept telling you, I'm like, are you like connected to God a little bit closer than a lot of us? Because she was like, oh, this is happening. And then like 2 seconds later, she goes, oh, we just found out we can do this. And I'm like, and then she's like, oh, we have a snag. And then like 2 hours later, it was fixed. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, like you just are asking the universe that it's just happening left and right. And I'm going,
it's the trust in it. I think it's the trust in following through with what you're receiving.
yeah.
And that's hard for a lot of people.
I think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cesar, have you ever seen that happen in your life where you've just like trusted something and you just allowed the flow and it just was
Well,
amazing?
I'm a comedian, so I like failure. Failure is my lifeblood. You know what I mean? So I go looking for failure. I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna mess this up. It'll be great. But no, I mean, of course, I think when you make the mistakes and then you find your alignment, then it happens like that, right? And you have to make those mistakes, I think, to figure it out. So my philosophy has always been just start doing. I think a lot of times we're like, oh, I need all this education. I need it has to be the best. It has to look the best, or I don't even want to participate. I mean, I just think, there's so much noise out there. There's so much going on. You just have to jump in. You can't worry about what people think. You go, you do, and it will happen. It'll come together.
I like how you said that, because over the weekend, I've been getting a few texts from people about my book, and they've been finding like errors in it. And I'm like, oh, well, now I know that there's errors in my book. So I'm like going through going, oh, there is, and like, oh, and there's another one, and here's another one. But you're right. Like Angel says, done is better than none. And if I would have said, no, wait, this book might have never even hit yet.
That's right.
It might not be done yet. So you don't have to worry about everything being so perfect.
And I bet you grew through the process, right? Like you grew as a person. Right? Kyle Cease has this book called I Hope I Mess This Up. And that's it. That's the idea, is that is the way. That's the good thing. That's the good part, right? If you were able to prep and then just get everything perfect, or just hand it to somebody, and you don't grow as a person, right? You're not going to arrive, and you would miss out on all the things you didn't even know you needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not messing up, you're not moving fast enough, for
Right,
sure. Right?
exactly.
You're not trying enough new things, because that is when you read. And I think I love reading people's biographies of how they got to where they are. They are so full of messing up and trials and failures, and because you look at them as their success story by the time we hear about them, right? By the time we see you, Mary, you've published, these books, Cesar, you're a TEDx, like you've got all this success, but people aren't seeing, like Tina was even saying, she went back and watched some of our original morning show episodes, and she said we sucked, which I can't believe that's
I
even
was
like
like,
a thing.
why were we even saying that? Like we were all, I felt like we were so unprofessional, but some of those beginning ones are our most viewed shows.
Shoot.
So as we're growing, we're losing people. No, I'm just joking. No, but I mean, some of them there are most viewed, like thousands of people watched it. And I'm like, oh, look how we looked, and our lighting was all messed up, and our background was all mixed up. Speaking of backgrounds, I still have my birthday celebration background here. I told Angel, I said, girl, I haven't done nothing all weekend. I don't even think I got out of
Her
bed.
birthday was just on Wednesday, and it was just a little bit of a holiday. We'll give you some grace.
It's your unbirthday. It's fine.
Well, I did celebrate it all month long, and I'm still like every single day. Yesterday, I got 8 packages in the mail. And I told Angel, I said, you sent me something in the mail. And she was like, I did?
Well, because I was ordering from, I don't know if you guys have done anything from ordering, but they were having delays in their orders and delivery, and I couldn't track anything. So I kept placing orders that weren't getting delivered. So then she's like, did you send this? I'm like, I could have, but I'm not ordering from them anymore.
I think so.
Well, let's get to know our guests a little bit more professionally, right? Formally. I'm gonna read your bio, Cesar. You're a 2-time TEDx speaker, a speaker coach for TEDx Colorado Springs. Really? Oh, I didn't even read that.
That's right. Yes.
Everybody's in Colorado and you left.
Well, well, I'm in Santa Fe now,
Oh, yeah, I would say he's
it's
in
not too far.
Mexico now.
Yeah, it's not far, right? Yeah, because
it's funny. Last 2 weeks, we've had like 10 people, all from Highlands Ranch, Denver, like all these places, and we're like, and she doesn't even know who they were. Like, you live 2 minutes away from me. You live 10 minutes away from me.
Yeah, Colorado is all of a sudden on our map now that I'm gone, right? All these people from Colorado are coming on this show. He was on Comedy Central's Open Mic Fight. He's the founder of TEDx Masterclass, right? On Comedy Central, TEDx Talk. And so a speaker coach for TEDx Colorado Springs. I bet you get a lot of people wanting to pick your brain.
Yeah, I think the cool part is, well, first I want to say public speaking, that does scare some people, right? But I also think that for the right people, it can totally just change your business. It can change the way people see you, your credibility, all that kind of stuff. But then also, there's a lot of us that just have something to say and have a message and want to have impact. And so these are kind of the subsets of folks that are interested and that see it. And all of us have seen a TED Talk, right? And a lot of us are TED fans, and we actually educate ourselves by watching TED Talks because it's like 20 minutes or less. You can really kind of deep dive in a really tight time frame. And when it's done well, it can totally change you. The knowledge gap is closed, and you can have a completely new perspective on anything, right? So yeah, but I do get a lot of people reaching out and saying, okay, so how do I land a talk? What is this about? How do I write it? All that kind of good stuff. And that's what fires me up. I love helping people get to the stage and figure it out. And so, yeah, it's just been so cool. Like from being a comedian to then being on a TED stage to then helping people do it. I don't know. It's been a crazy journey.
So how does being a comedian translate into TED Talks? Because I would think they're little different skills, like a little different focus.
It is.
A little bit different audience, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, so here's the context. So I was a professional comedian full-time for about 8 years. That's all I did. And I lived in LA, and I was an actor too and did some things. And I was just sort of like, I don't want to live in LA. I don't like this place. And I decided to go back to graduate school. And that's where I met my wife. And we started a new life. I actually had a whole nother life as a college administrator. And then I started teaching in the theater department. I started teaching classes about humor and how to perform humor. That led into a community class at the Fine Arts Center in Colorado Springs. And I had all different kinds of people, like retired folks and people who always wanted to just try stand-up comedy for one reason or another. And what I thought was that they were coming because stand-up was the thing, right? But actually, they all had something to say. And that was the common denominator, is that they saw stand-up as the avenue for that. And anyway, that community class led to me writing my first TEDx talk and getting on stage and doing that first one. Just those connections that I was seeing of people wanting to kind of tell their story. And so that for me, I think, is what got me moving. I felt more fulfilled by the people that were in the class, more fulfilled than me being on stage, was helping people be on stage. And so that was the connection for me. Yeah.
So when you talk on your TEDx, do you put a little humor into it?
Yeah, a little bit. So my first talk is called Stand Up and Lead. And essentially, that's, I see like the great stand-ups of all time have the same sort of qualities and characteristics as great leaders. And so I did a talk about, hey, if you're a really great comedian, you could probably be a really great leader too. But also, if you bomb on stage, you probably bomb as a leader too. And here's why, and that was kind of the so that was the correlation that I made. And then my second talk just came out about a month or two ago. It's called the Funny Formula for Better Speaking. And this was more about, just teaching something really tangible and quick. It's just a 5-minute talk. And it's about how can you implement humor into your public speaking. And again, this was another, I just think, revelation that I came to, is that people come into it for all different kinds of reasons. We all have to publicly speak at some point, right? And we've all seen a joke kind of flop, or we're like, oh, maybe you shouldn't have opened with that, and there's a reason why it works or it doesn't work. And so that's what I teach in the second one.
Angel, I'm thinking we might need to have him on our Connect Summit for one of our happy hours.
Let's do it.
It would be fabulous. Yeah. So we had started during the pandemic doing virtual summits, and our very first one was right in March when everything was shutting down. We were able to pull together 28 speakers and did our first 2-day virtual summit in March. It was like this amazing turnaround because Cesar, speakers were looking for stages, like everything was being canceled, and audiences all of their events were being canceled as well. Well, some of the things we had started doing were like a happy hour. Like we had our own, somebody mixed drinks. We had our own cocktail afterwards. We've had
Cool.
We had an Angel Tina Teeny, and it was
we had entertainment come in at the end of the summit, and it's very popular, very well received. Just after a full day of sitting on Zoom, right? And and being educated, which is super valuable. Just a little comic relief at the end of the day is kind of nice. So
absolutely,
you are open. We would love to reach out to you.
Let's
we
do
just
it.
realized that after taking 2 weeks off, that probably our January one is going to be pushed to February.
We were both like, we haven't done nothing. That's what happens.
You don't even
gotta ease into it.
You take 2 weeks off. There's holidays, there's birthdays, and you're coming back to work, and you're like, oh.
And a bestseller campaign, like you've done a lot. So Cesar, how do people connect with you? Because I know, because anytime you say TEDx coach, they're like, okay, I need to know this person. I need to follow everything he says, because this is, it's like one of those benchmarks, especially for speakers, to say, a check mark to say I've done that. So how do you want people to connect with you?
Well, what I want to offer is one of the big reasons why folks aren't able to land their first talk is they just don't even know who is looking for speakers, right? So I did all the legwork. Big Ted, the TED.com doesn't actually create a way that you can easily find that. And one of the reasons they do that is because TEDx sites are independently organized. They just license them.
Mhm.
And so you have to go and do the legwork. There are 3,000 TEDx events a year. And now that it's gone virtual, there's a studio license. So there's going to be more, which means more opportunities. But it doesn't mean it's easier to find out who's looking. So what I did was for all of North America, Australia, and the UK, I scoured the internet for hours, looked for all of the dates and deadlines, and I created a list and put
Wow.
that together for people. Yeah. And I just want to give that for free to whoever's watching and listening. It's
Well,
at
we are definitely going to need that because we do a whole lot of media matchmaking here, helping people find those events and find where they are. So I know our audience is going to be huge wanting to connect with you. How do we get that?
So I've got a link that's on my website. My website is cesarcervantes.tv, but you can't actually find it on my website. It's something I have to give you. So can we can post it or something like that? Okay. And then all you have to do is put in 100 off in the coupon code, and it's yours for free. And then, if you decide you want, because my fulfillment is like really working with people to kind of do the deep work to get it done. So I've got a master class. And so if that's something folks are interested in, it's running right now. So it's not open, but we're going to open it in February sometime. I think probably the second week in February. So if you get the list, then, I'll have your email and I'll let you know about when we decide to open it again.
It's funny
Okay.
because I literally just put TEDx on my vision board.
Did you?
Nice. It was on mine for a long
And,
time. Yeah.
and I didn't even know that's what you did.
Well, here I am.
I just put it on there this weekend. I didn't even know that's what you did. But we have to take a quick commercial break to thank all of the sponsors on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. For the last 10 months, we have been running every single day, Monday through Friday. We go live every weekday morning at 11 a.m. And we have some fabulous sponsors who have been along the way with us every step of the way. So we would like to give them a little thank you, a little shout out.
We would love to shout out to our sponsors. And I love how Mary says that the universe loves speed. We came out of the gate fast in 2020, putting together the morning show, hosting now over 200 episodes, over 400 guests, and picking up sponsors who wanted to be a part of and help us to get this message out into the world. Zondra TV Network is our global streaming sponsor, right? We are on Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, Android, all actually 7 digital streaming networks where you can grab the Angel and Tina Morning Show. And the fabulous thing about working with ZTV is they have an incubator for their producers, teaching you how to be a TV producer. So if you've got content, maybe a podcast or a YouTube channel, and you've ever thought about hosting your own TV show, there's never been a better time to get started. And you can reach out to ZTV by going to their website, beonztv.com. That's beonztv.com, and schedule a discovery call and see if TV and digital streaming is the way for you. She's been leading the way. She's been the forerunner when it comes to getting entrepreneurs started on their own digital streaming networks. Bliss by the Lake Boutique is our clothing sponsor. They do some really fun fashion shows here on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. They also host live fashion shows, trunk shows on social media. They get fresh new inventory every single week, and they ship all over the country. So follow them on social media, Bliss by the Lake Boutique. And Sonic VA, if you are spending way too much time editing those videos, check out their video assistant service at sonicva.com, sonicva.com. Sonic VA, Bliss by the Lake, and Zondra TV Network. Thank you so much for sponsoring the Angel and Tina Morning Show. But really what makes our show so special is our guests being willing to come on and have this unscripted conversation with you. You get to kind of peel back the curtain a little bit from what you would normally see from them on a professional speaking stage and have this insider conversation with them. And so I want to introduce Mary Silver. She's a business and success author, coach, and speaker, helping coaches, consultants, and heart-centered service providers build a business that they love. She is an award-winning coach, named one of the top professionals in her field. It's been seen on a variety of media outlets, including ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, Thrive Global, Bustle, and Medium. She's a certified law of attraction coach. She has over 20 years in the professional field of helping people get what they want. And she has her brand new book coming out tomorrow, Impacting Millions, the easiest way to attract soulmate clients every day. And Mary, I'm super excited that you came here to do your big launch and to celebrate your book coming out.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's an honor and a privilege, and so thank you very much. And I'm excited. Yeah,
I'm so
what a
excited to
way
get this book.
Yeah, I just, I thought, how can I bring in the new year and make it really worth like something I really look forward to? And I thought, why not? Why not?
Well, I just read something this morning that talked about, 2020, there are so many people that, they were no longer deemed essential, right? If they were not an essential business, really lost their livelihood. I mean, there's a lot of financial devastation going on for families right now if they were dependent on an employer. And then even those that were essential are not really paid, right? Compensated for what they have been put through right now. And yet entrepreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurs had the space when everything shut down. Not only did their business didn't fail. In fact, a lot of them grew. I mean, we've seen some incredible success stories, best year ever, best days ever, best months ever, launching new books and courses and being able to connect and reach and really now do more global than they ever had. We had over 60 speaking events get canceled, but man, they picked right back up in this virtual space. And so right now, when you talk about being an entrepreneur, leveraging publishing, leveraging speaking, these TED Talks and like this is the deck is absolutely stacked in our favor. And so I spent, one of the things that I've said, that I want to focus even more on in 21 is my personal development, like learning from how do I take what I've already built and make it better, right? Like it doesn't have to be, let's start with something new, but like, how do we make it even better? And so your book, Mary, is just, I think that's right on everybody, like on the tip of what everybody is thinking about they need this year. What do you think?
Oh, I absolutely agree. And like you're saying, I think in March, right after the shutdown happened, everybody was pulling in and, the word was pivot. And I ended up having a $10,000 day, right? Like at the end of March, like the very end of March, where there was this weird feeling though for me. I had a $10,000 day and I had a $16,000 day a couple months later. And I remember like just looking back, and even though it's a short time, I felt kind of guilty. Like, oh no, how can I be making this kind of money when there's people losing their livelihood? And then I thought, I'm put in this position for a purpose. And that is to help people be able to create their own financial independence and not have to worry about an employer. And that's why I feel that there was this reward, if you might, and so the Impact Millions came from that. And it was like, how do you get your message out? How do you talk to the people? Just like Cesar was saying, people have something to say. And when they can put that in a framework and make money from it and create the life that they love, that to me took all the guilt away and said, this is the plan I'm supposed to be living. And that's where the book stemmed from.
It is. These are interesting times for sure. And we had Ray Higdon on a couple weeks ago, and he says, when you make more money, you can do more good. And I think that for many of us, it's like now we truly can go out and make an impact. We can, help causes, pour into causes that matter to us and that are important, and take care of our family and create this legacy. And but it's funny you said the feeling guilty, because I know a lot of people think that way. Like we tend to play small to serve other people, right? It's that whole what was that Marianne Williamson quote, right? About but we tend to like play in the shadows and play small because we don't want you know, we don't want to offend, hurt, make other people feel guilty, make other people feel bad. And yet we can do more good when we make more money. And so like I don't know where that came in and why that's a thing, but we just need to smack it out of us.
Yeah.
But
Well, I just think
the
that
whole year has been like that, though. I think a lot of our people in our circle have had their best year ever. And that's why we kept saying it was the best, worst year ever, because in our circle, we have been able to take that and pivot, using that word again and again and again. But we've been able to take it and pivot our business to make it all virtual and to make it beneficial for everybody. And there's some people out there who just don't have, I don't even know, like, don't have the brain power, don't have the people in their life, don't have the people in their circle, whatever it is, to know that all they have to do is change a few little things and be able to do that.
Well, it's not an easy journey, right? It is, I think the entrepreneurial journey, right, is, the highs are highs and the lows are lows. I think nothing will make you doubt yourself deeper than, right, being an entrepreneur. Like, I'm amazing. Oh, this totally sucks. I'm amazing. Like, we had a good day. We used to, I used to travel and do speaking events, and we would speak at expos. And my husband and I, very early on, when we did it with there was a bunch of speakers. And what's the difference between a good expo and a bad expo? And there was only one thing. And we said, if we made money, right? If we made money, it was a good expo, right? Because it's like sales solves 80% of the problems that we're having. Most of the challenges that are in our world, if we could throw some money at it, those problems and challenges would go away. And so here we are, shifting and learning, and how do we connect? But man, you've got to stack, like, you've got to add value, right? You've got to stack the value and know that you are serving people. And you can't, it's like, if you start chasing the money, then it just becomes about the money, but it's really about the impact.
Yeah.
And the more people that you impact, then the money does.
Yeah, I talk about it as a ripple effect, because obviously I learned from you, and so you taught me how to put my words out on paper, get the book done, get it out. Now I can go impact more. And it's this ripple effect that continues to go, and I'll impact somebody and they'll impact somebody. Yep. And I think that, as you were talking about being an entrepreneur, it's going to confront all your core wounds. So you'll figure out what your core wounds are really quick. And that's
where you need your circle there to be
exactly.
Oh my gosh, I'm a failure. I can't do this. I can't do this. And the other person is on the other line. Yes, you can. Take a deep breath. Do this.
Or who
I was just reading your sign behind you that says you are entirely up to you.
Yep.
I love that. I love that saying. You are entirely up to you, because it is you. Whatever you're doing, it's up to you to change it. You can't rely on somebody else to change your circumstances.
Right. Absolutely. It's a journey. It's fun, and sometimes you look at it and you want to say, it's not up to me, it's up to something else. But it is. You have to take the action. Yeah.
All right. So Cesar, here we are, first Monday, right? First 100 days of the year, fresh, clean slate. I love looking at a clean calendar. It's like, it's all just full of hope, right? Of possibilities. What are you most excited about coming up for you?
Well, wow, what an amazing question. So I do the word of the year, right? And so I decided that prosper would be my word. And I don't know, and there's a ton of words like it, but for whatever reason, it fit for me. And I'm, it's funny, we're talking about kind of what your thoughts and feelings about money are. We all have this sort of a money DNA or genesis of what we think is a lot of money, or what we think is too much to ask for, or whatever. And so for me, I'm most excited about having the impact on people for speaking and getting on a bunch of TED stages, and so everybody who comes to me, I'm like, we're going to make this happen. You're going to have the best talk and you're going to get on stage. And so the impact is there, but then the natural sort of effect of that is that that's valuable, right? And so for me this year, I want to see that prosperity happen, and that the relationship between money and value and impact is just one and the same, right? And there's not all these feelings that are kind of tied up with it. So that's on the business side. I mean, I think on the family side, it's been really nice to be working from home and spending a ton of time with my baby girl, and I just want more of that and more of my extended family. Yeah.
Mm, that's beautiful, right? We do. I love, we do have our own money DNAs, like these little money stories, but we have been, when you think about the good that did come out of it, is spending that family time, finding out what is really important to you. When we talk about the world opening up, again, it's like, this didn't stop. I think right now there's a lot of brand new businesses and entrepreneurs and talks and books. I was doing some research, and in one day, this year, over 600 new books were published. 300 million books published this year. It's like, that's incredible. Like, that's just insane.
Okay, so
How,
what was it the other years? Do you know the number for the other years?
like 20 million, right? Like,
Everybody took this time and like dove in and said, okay, since I'm home, I'm writing a book.
Always wanted to write that book. Yeah.
always wanted to write it. So here's a
Now
good
that
time.
I have the time.
Right. But, my husband and I, we always at the beginning of the year sit down and do kind of our direction for the year. We did not do it for a whole year. This is like the first time we said, let's just do the first 4 months, because I just have no idea. And I like, we'll just plan this the first 4 months of the year and see and take it. And we always do meet monthly. We have our monthly financial summit, and, to kind of make sure we're on track and going forward. So we're just, we're getting into this house. We're starting some, a few new things on the side, but really want to make sure that what we've put in place, that we just do better at it, right? Let's make sure that that's up and running, and that's even better than it was, and that it's before we add another new thing to it. But I love the word prosper. We talk about,
I love the word prosper.
Talk about words. Mary, do you do a word of the year?
I do. Mine is patience. And only because
So they always say not to pray for patience.
Well, mine has more to do with children. So my 2 children live with me part-time, and my husband has 4 children with his ex-wife, and 2 of them will be moving in with us starting Saturday, and then the other one's moving out in the end of January. And we'll all be living in this house, and it's a big house, but with 6 of us, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. But so mine is patience, that everything works out. There's a reason for everything. And again, it goes back to the patience of, your book came out in Angel's House. It went fast. It's like, I have these books now, these other books, the series of Impacting Millions, and it'll be talking about speaking or, sales, whatever. The series, and I just want to get it out. And it's like, it will happen when it's meant to happen. And kind of like Angel was just saying, I believe that the more vivid we imagine our future to be, the greater things happen. So it's just trusting. It goes back to that trust, and just allowing whatever wants to come into fruition will. So, but patience is going to be my big one, and that's on the home front.
How do you want people to get a hold of you?
Oh yeah. So obviously the book Impact Millions, if they want to buy it on Amazon tomorrow, that would be fantastic. And then I actually have a little downloadable freebie that I use, and it's it's easily unleash 5K, 10K or more monthly, a 7-step blueprint, and it gives you 7 steps to do daily. And then out of those 7 steps, there's little like micro things that you can pick and do some of those each day, and you'll bring in the additional 5K, 10K or more each month. I don't look at I do work with some people who don't necessarily need the 5K. They just want that extra 5K and 10K sounded better. So I have a link It's bit.ly, bit.ly// unleash 5K, 10K. And I'll send it to you as well. I'll put it in the chat for you. But yeah,
I like having words every year. And you know, Cesar, your word is prosper, and Mary, your word is patience. And I decided to have my word for 2021 to be intentional. To be intentional with everything that I do, with my money, with my health, with my wealth, with my business, with my self-care, to be intentional about the people I bring into my circle, about the people I let out of my circle. Angel, do you have you did you get your word yet?
Well, we were sticking with obsessed, right? Like just
Yes.
like become obsessed with what you want because you get what you think about most of the time. And so right, when you go full in, right, if we dilly dally, it's easier to go 100% full in to something than to be on the fence about something. And so, full in with fitness, full in with friendships, like just go 100%. Like, this is who I am and what I do every single day. And so I drink a glass of water in between every drink, right?
And
Like,
you got some new cute pink and white sneaks.
I did. I got new running shoes. Took them out for a trial yesterday. So, my Sunday run where I just kind of get these incredible downloads while I'm out there running. Yeah, so they were fun and they're cute. And so yeah, obsessed is my word. Whatever I'm gonna do full out. Right? I'm not gonna go halfway. I'm gonna play full out.
Wow.
I like it.
Yeah. All right, Cesar, give your contact information one more time.
Yeah. So, well, you can find me on all social media stuff, right? But mostly I'm on Insta and Facebook, and both of my handles there are Mr. Cesar Cervantes. And so you can find me there. I also have a TEDx speakers group on Facebook, which is just called TEDx Speakers. It's a private group, but you just have to answer a few questions because we want to know you. And then we'll let you in. And I do a bunch of speaker education there. My personal website is cesarcervantes.tv, and then we'll get you that link for your list download. It's going to save you a ton of time, and it'll put you on your way to booking your first TED Talk.
That is both of you. These are incredibly valuable gifts, right? Yes. Incredibly valuable opt-ins. And so follow our guests. I mean, this is a piece, we talk about the morning show being the bright start to your day. We attract some of the most amazing guests on the show who are they're just willing to pour in and to share and to serve, to go on to an hour-long program unscripted. Takes a lot of guts, right? Like, you've got to be brave to say, okay, what is this about and how's this going to go?
Do you have any questions for me? Do you want me to give you any questions ahead of time? No.
Right. Well, we kind of leverage those throughout, but it's more conversation versus interview style. And we want to also say thank you to everybody who participated in our 200th episode of the Angel and Tina Morning Show. It was Tina's birthday. We launched her book, but mostly we were able to recognize our guests with some incredible awards and accolades and recognition for what they have done throughout the year. And the feedback and the responses that we got were just so meaningful. So congratulations to everybody who participated in our 200th episode. Anybody who's ever been a guest on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, we are super grateful for you. But 21 is stacked in our favor. It is absolutely, when you think about all the opportunities, all the new books, all the new courses, all the new podcasts, everything that is available to us, it is exciting. And I think we're all going into it with just this new fervor of energy. So we hope to keep that going for you here on the morning show. We will bring back the Connect Summit this year. It'll probably be the first one, will be in February. Lots of opportunities for you to get exposure, lots of opportunities for you to create impact, and to grow your empire, right? To grow your empire for sure. But I'm Angel Tassi. I am your media exposure specialist. I have a complimentary media starter kit. Like Mary said, she went through our Media Mastery Bootcamp, and now she is a published author, and they're flowing out of her like water. I'm super excited for that. But you can grab that complimentary starter guide at my website, makeyourbigimpact.com. That's makeyourbigimpact.com. gmail.com, and we'd be super excited to get that into your hands. Lots of stuff, right? Lots of resources. And so anything you're thinking, this is what I need this year, we probably have a resource. We probably have interviewed the person or have the book or have the podcast. What is it? The sphere of influence, the law of wait a minute. Oh, oh shoot, like connection, like yeah, how like small world. Anyways, we have it here. We have the people,
Let
right?
her go.
The words
I
can't
get
think
what
of
you're saying.
It's
Okay,
Monday.
yeah, they're here.
It is Monday. We had technical difficulties. We couldn't go live on Facebook, and just give us a little grace. I am Tina Torres, your client retention expert, otherwise known as a gratitude specialist. But if you are interested in being a guest on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, we are booking for 2021. Simply email me at tinamtorres@gmail.com. Let me know that you're interested in being a guest on the show. That is tinamtorres@gmail.com, and we will get you all booked up. And if you have not yet got your copy of Beyond Gratitude, you can get that at beyondgratitudebook.com. It is still $5 only, and that'll help you create those strategies to attract, connect, and convert more prospects. So beyondgratitudebook.com. We are Angel and Tina on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, where we come to you live every weekday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. We will see you guys tomorrow, and let's start 2021 on a great start, so we can have a fantastic 2021 and create the best year yet. So we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks, Tina. Thanks.